Zoa Plus is going to revolutionize the pre-workout powder game.
Let's dive right into the ingredients. What is it so amazing about the Brock's brand new pre-workout? Coach Greg, in today's video, an in-depth review of The Rock's brand new pre-workout, Zoa Plus.
You guys have been waiting a very long time. Finally, we are delivering. Zoa Plus is going to revolutionize the pre-workout powder game.
Let's dive right into the ingredients. What is it so amazing about the Brock's brand new pre-workout?
We have 3 great flavors of Zoa Plus. We have wild berry, fruit punch, and cherry lime. They're all my favorite. It's just like asking me who's my favorite kid. They're all my favorite kids.
And so there are 3 flavors. The Rock says he loves them all. Nothing wrong with that. Of course, he formulated these. I'm sure he taste tested them, and so he loves all of them. And oftentimes, people experience flavor fatigue. Even if you had the best pizza in the world, you perhaps wouldn't want to eat it every single meal. And so nothing wrong with having different flavors. You mix it up. You try one pre-workout, try a different flavor of another. And so nothing wrong with that. And so before we look at each of the ingredients, we have to know how much does this thing cost? And so for 25 servings, it's approximately $50 or about $2 per serving. Many people saying this is way too expensive. You can't charge this much. Rock, you've lost your way. Price point for 25 servings is ridiculous. Your brands are supposed to be better with pricing also. Enough of selling dreams, Rock. Get back in touch with reality. Now, I understand people saying it's very expensive, but you have to understand the better the product, the more the price is going to be. You can't expect to have an amazing product with all the ingredients you want for dirt cheap. It doesn't work like that. You do, in fact, have to have profit margins, and The Rock is not going to sell his products at a loss. But are there other products perhaps equally as good or better that you can get for a more reasonable cost?
We got a unique blend of 4,000 milligrams Lcitrulline.
And so first things first, the first ingredient discussed is Lcitrulline. That will increase blood flow, allow you to go harder than last time. It allows vasodilation. You have bigger, more prominent veins, and so you have a much better pump on. So by increasing blood flow, we're decreasing the oxygen demands on the muscle. And so what this can do is actually increase your lactic threshold. And so whether you're doing exercise in the gym, lifting weights, or perhaps racing bikes, you can in fact benefit from Lcitrulline. And so this a very important and crucial ingredient of, in my opinion, any pre-workout. And so how much does he have? 4,000 milligrams per scoop. Now, the minimum effective dose is in fact 3,000. And so it's believed that if you have anything above 3,000 milligrams, it's going to be beneficial to you. But is it in fact ideal? My personal opinion is you should be getting at least 6,000, if not 8,000 or more milligrams if you want to maximize and optimize the amount of benefits you're getting from Lcitrulline. And so rather than taking 1 scoop, I would in fact suggest you take 2 scoops.
200 milligrams Cetria, L-glutathione for nitric oxide support.
And so the next ingredient is glutathione. You may have heard of this before, and it's the best form of it. It's reduced glutathione, and it's actually an antioxidant, and this supplement can in fact increase your pumps. It's cutting edge breakthrough research, and it actually is very expensive. And so that is probably one of the reasons why this is so expensive. But it's a great ingredient, and it does in fact work. And so one of the reasons why some people have a difficult time getting a pump is because there are too many free radicals in the blood, body, and so on. And so by adding in antioxidants, this allows you to get a better pump. And so perhaps you could have more blueberries, vitamin C, the list goes on and on. And glutathione, the reduced kind, very effective, and it does in fact have one study that shows it's very beneficial in aiding Lcitrulline in benefiting that pump, kind of like a 1 + 1 = 3.
Zoa Plus also has a unique blend of 4 proven ingredients that boost muscular endurance and reduces fatigue for all of your high-intensity workouts.
And so up next, let's talk about the 4 ingredients in his training blend. The first one, BetaAlanine, one of my favorite ingredients. BetaAlanine, very underappreciated for anyone training harder than last time, especially doing drop sets, 4 sets, or doing extreme levels of hard cardio lasting up to a minute or more. This is going to make a very big difference. And many people, they did in fact get this wrong. They thought that you had to have a specific saturation point of which it then became effective. It doesn't work like that. The more you take of it, the more it's going to become effective. Of course, up to a point, but you don't have to load on beta-alanine for months at a time before you can feel any of its effects. Many people made fun of it. Oh, that Coach Greg, you just got to get an itchy butthole, paresthesia. It's no good. Well, in reality, some people enjoy that feeling. They get the tingling, the flushing of the face, and they know at that time, it's time to go and work out. And so if you're asking me, beta-alanine, one of the top ingredients of any pre-workout. And how much did it include? 3,200 milligrams. And why is that? Well, because that's the amount in that study that built up over time to a certain saturation point. But listen, if you take more than 3,200 milligrams, it's going to give you a greater effect. And no, it doesn't all need to be taken at once. And so if you ask me, 3,200 milligrams, that is a great dose. And so nothing wrong with that. Happy to see it's included. And if you have any pre-workout without beta-alanine, my opinion, you are in fact missing out. Up next, Betaine. This is an osmolyte. It in fact attracts water into the muscle. And so think of it. It gives you a pump within the muscle. It's not going to pump up your veins, vascular. You're not going to look like you have horse veins walking all over. But the muscle hidden beneath the fat, the skin, that can in fact have a bigger pump. More water is drawn into it. Similar fashion to creatine. And so if you have more betaine, you're going to feel better, have more hydration. And so highly recommend this ingredient. But is it dosed effectively? Minimum effective dose, gotta have at least 1,000 milligrams, included 1,250. But if you ask me, should be much higher. If you look at my own pre-workout, the full serving, 3,000 milligrams. And so in comparison, it's not all that much. And so my suggestion, my recommendation, you're gonna need 2 scoops. And so although it says there's 25 scoops in the bottle at a price of $50, I do believe many people will wanna take 2 scoops. And why is that? Well, Lcitrulline, if you doubled it up, would have 8,000 milligrams. The Betaine 1,250 would have 2,500 milligrams. Some ingredients you may not need double. Perhaps there could be too much caffeine. But if you want to have the best, most effective supplements, I do believe some of these ingredients are slightly underdosed compared to what you want. Up next, concrete. We getting fancy. Creatine, 1,000 HCl. And so what this is a fancy creatine. It's got a patent on it. And in my opinion, it's just overpriced nonsense. You don't need special creatine. There's no research to suggest that you need to buy the most expensive creatine on the market to make it better than last time. And so why not just add in regular good old creatine monohydrate? But you have to give credit where credit is due. He did in fact add creatine. This is going to make the cost go through the roof. And so if you consider all these expensive ingredients, no wonder it's $50 for 25 scoops. What do you expect? The Rock is not a charity case, not giving this out for free. And so if you ask me, this is a very high quality ingredient. I would have just chosen to put something else. And so it does make sense that he would chosen this, because when I did in fact have creatine in my old pre-workout, 5 grams of it, it was a lot, hard to mix it up, and so it makes very large scoop size. And so in my own pre-workout, I don't even have creatine. Prefer to use it on its own. You don't need creatine specifically right before your workout. There's nothing wrong with taking it before your workout, but you can also take it at the morning, afternoon, night. Doesn't matter. As The Rock says, doesn't matter when you take your creatine. Just take it. And 5 grams a day for most people, that is enough. For smaller individuals, perhaps 3 or 4 grams is enough. And for very large individuals, you may in fact want 6 or even 7 grams. The only problem I see is this is kind of a low dose of creatine. If you're going to spend that much money on a patented ingredient of creatine, why not put the amount you actually need? 1,000 milligrams HCl, although it's more potent than monohydrate, it's still very low dose. He should up the dose to at least 2,000 or better still 2,500. And so I do believe The Rock perhaps cutting some corners in price, knowing that this patented ingredient is very expensive, worrying about profit margins. And so I do believe the product would be a lot better with more creatine, but there's nothing wrong with putting a little bit. And so the fact that it's only 1,000 HCl, you're going to need to add in some extra creatine. And so why not pick up some of this extra creatine, mix it in, take it in on your own. Please click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off for any of these ingredients, except for I don't sell Zoa. Up next, L-carnitine tartrate. This increases your body's ability to use fats for fuel. However, it's only 500 milligrams. It's not enough. It's not even at the minimum effective dose. And so although it's a great ingredient, I don't think it's warranted or needed, but if you are going to add it, why not just put it in at 1,000 milligrams?
And of course, we have sodium and potassium as added, electrolytes for all of your hydration.
And the rock then goes in to say, oh, it's got all these electrolytes. And so I'm thinking, wow, this is going to be great. As what I did was I added my own electrolytes in a product called Perilite, a play off Pedialyte. But notice the amount of electrolytes that the rock's added ingredients. Negligible. Almost nothing. Potassium. 2% of what you need in a day. 100 milligrams of potassium, and he has the audacity to say, oh, it's full of electrolytes. Do you really think that if you take this pre-workout and go to the gym and sweat harder than last time, you've seen how hard the rock works out, do you really think that that is all the electrolytes he's going to need? You perhaps get more electrolytes from drinking a can of Diet Pepsi. And the sodium, it's only 6% of the recommended total daily intake, 140 milligrams in comparison. We have 250 milligrams of sodium and 200 milligrams of potassium in Perilite. And so if anything, please go out and purchase the Rocks pre-workout. There's nothing wrong with it. I do think it's a great product, but in addition to that, you may in fact want to add in Perilite. This is something you consume during your workout to prevent cramping, dehydration, and so on. Code Greg, 10% off. Click the link in the description. And don't forget, the electrolytes are not just sodium and potassium. There's several others. For example, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. And so don't think that just because you have a little bit of potassium, a little bit of sodium, that you're good. You're not. You need to stay hydrated.
We also have some really great proven products to promote focus.
Up next, let's talk about the Focus Blend. And I'm not talking about G-Focus. If you're interested in G-Focus, of course, you can pick up one of these bottles. You can get this at my website. But let's speak about what's exactly in his product right now. And so the first ingredient, L-tyrosine at 800 milligrams, what this can do is it's a precursor to dopamine. And so if you consume this, you're going to be in a better mood. You're going to be more likely to want to train hard, to push yourself. You have that positive energy from feeling the dopamine. And so this is actually a very good ingredient. However, would much rather see it at 1,000 milligrams or more. 800 certainly have some effect, but 1,000 would be that much better. Up next is Alpha GPC at 400 milligrams. And what this does is it increases acetylcholine, which not only benefits you cognitively, but it allows you to have a greater muscle contraction when lifting the weights in the gym. And so it does this because increasing acetylcholine levels allow for greater muscle fiber recruitment. And so when you're doing the set, perhaps instead of 60% of your muscles firing, you have 61%. And so with greater muscle fiber recruitment, you can actually lift a heavier weight and you can perform the exercise longer. Up next, guayusa leaf extract. And basically what this is a bit of caffeine. And so it's 50 milligrams. It might be 50% caffeine. So perhaps there's 25 milligrams of caffeine going to give you a slight energy boost, a little bit more energy than the 200 milligrams of caffeine that's in one full serving of his Zio Plus energy drink. And so my opinion, the caffeine in one scoop, not quite enough for most people. 200 milligrams is half of what the FDA recommends. 400 milligrams in any single day. And what studies show is you need 1 to 3 milligrams of caffeine per kilo of body weight. And so if you're 100 kilograms, that's 2 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. That is plenty if you're not somebody that drinks caffeine all day long. And so for someone like me, this would be perfect. Not gonna lie, plenty of caffeine. But if you're somebody who drinks coffee in the morning, perhaps coffee in the afternoon, and you don't leverage the benefits of caffeine around your workout, this most likely not gonna get you amped up harder than last time. Many people who take pre-workout, they want a very strong pre-workout. This is not it. This is going to give you a moderate amount of energy, but it's not gonna have you more amped up than last time. And so if you're looking for something to get you really amped up, something hardcore, look no further than hardcore pre-workout. This is something to get you really fired up. Has about 350 milligrams of caffeine in every single dose. And so if you want to get the same feelings as hardcore pre-workout in the Zoa energy drink, you're going to have to perhaps take 1.5, maybe even 2 scoops. That may in fact be cost prohibitive. But overall, I still think this is an excellent supplement. If I didn't have my own supplement from my own company, I might in fact buy it.
Zoa Plus is officially NSF certified for sport. We deliver to you the highest of quality, but the safest of ingredients for you to reach your maximum performance.
And so it's officially NSF certified for sport. And so what that means, it has no banned ingredients. You can use it. You're not going to fail a drug test. Well, same applies to myself. Although I don't have the NSF sticker on the label, I can promise you, if you take my pre-workout, there's not going to be any SARMs, anything illegal. You're not going to fail a drug test. And so the Rock has a sticker on it. That's great. I don't. It's not as great, but I'm telling you, there's no extra performance-enhancing drug ingredients that not on the label. Do you really think I've added extra ingredients I don't want to brag about? If there were extra ingredients, even if they were performance-enhancing drugs, I'd certainly tell you. I'm not going to put extra stuff in it to make it better and keep it a secret. Shh, don't tell anyone. There's Anavar in my pre-workout. And so what's in the bottle is literally what's in the bottle. And so in conclusion, I think he has an excellent pre-workout. It's certainly way above the average. And although it's costly, I'd buy it. It's great. And if you don't want to buy his pre-workout, you can, of course, get mine. Or you can add in all these extra ingredients like creatine, beta-alanine, and, of course, GO2 max. Are you kidding? Imagine having a workout without taking GO2 max. I already took it. I ran over there, took my GO2 max before taking my pre-workout. What did I do? I took 1.25 scoops of my hardcore pre-workout because I don't need that much because I saved my caffeine from before my workouts. I'm going in a bike race, and with 3 pills of GO2 max, I'm going to race harder than last time. And so if you want to maximize your performance, maximize your training, look no further than Harder Than Last Time supplements. We have everything you could ever need. From the creatines, the pre-workouts, the beta-alanines. We also have G-Focus, Delta Sleep. We have Harder Than Last Time pills for the downstairs. I mean, what do we not have? We're still going to have supplements that make you hungrier, supplements that make you less hungry. We've got everything you'll ever need. Code Greg, 10% off. Click the link in the description. Subscribe, click that bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Do you like Zoa? Do you like The Rock? Also watch one of the 2 bloops, and of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, the Circle Diet book, the Harder Than Last Time clothing line. Get it all. Code Greg, 10% off, and of course, the free diet and training program, close to 50 pages, first and last name, email address coming straight to you, and until next time, I am out.